Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer Online action. We're going to be taking the Warriors of Chaos, playing up against a Norska opponent. This is actually Gojira, who actually runs a small YouTube channel of his own. I'll have a link in the description. I believe I found it. Gojira, if I have the wrong one, just let me know. There were a few Gojira gamings, but I picked the one that was, Total War related, so I believe that's the right one. But yeah, we're going to be facing off in the Chaos Waste, Warriors of Chaos versus Norska. Very good stuff. My army is indeed led by Kholek the Sun Eater, as you guys saw in the intro there, with the Swords of Chaos for support. The main line is a mix of regular Marauders as well as Chaos Warriors with great weapons, just in case of Marauder champions. We also have 4 Forsaken, of course, one of them being the Demon Spew, as is very typical for my armies. Forsaken are just the ideal flanking unit, really. They're a little bit flimsy to be really a frontline unit just because of their lower model count. They have relatively low melee defense, and although they do have 75 armor, which, is probably the highest for a unit of their class, these kind of damage-dealing infantry, they still have a relatively low model count, only 4,800 HP and relatively low melee defense, so they're really not meant to be a frontline unit. Like I said, they are the ideal flanking unit. So we've also got 2 Marauder Horsemen with Javelins, just to do a bit of harass here in the early game. And up here on a Manticore, we've got a Chaos Sorcerer, Lore of Fire. So you guys know I'm a big fire fan. Big fan of fire. Pyromaniac, I guess you could say, against Norska. We got Flaming Sword of Ruin, Fireball, as well as the Kindle Flame for that extra 12% weakness to fire, which is going to be very good against Skin Wolves. And Gojira has brought Throgg, so it's going to be very good against him as well. With Kholek, I'm pretty sure can beat Throgg one-on-one just regardless, but with the Flaming Sword of Ruin, that'll tilt that fight significantly in Kholek's favor, more so than it would be normally. And as well, like these Norscan Ice Wolves, for example, any of the Norscan units, I believe, that have this Frostbite trait have weakness to fire as well. Or, nope, that's just from the Kindle Flame. Huh, I thought they had a base weakness to fire. Well, learn something new. But anyway, so Throgg and all these Skin Wolves, of course, he does have a Skin Wolf Werekin as well. 2 Skin Wolves, it looks like, armored. Yep, and a front line of Marauders mixed in with Marauders with great weapons. 1 Brutes the Hound here. Very, very good unit for their cost. Backed up by 3 Marauder Champions with great weapons. A pretty good pick against Chaos. They have the Armor Piercing, good melee stats, the Enrage, lots of good stuff. Let's see, he also has a unit of Famir Warriors with great weapons, which is a very good pick against Chaos. You guys know, against Chaos, I typically like to roll with a lot of Berserkers, with the Famir Warriors that can then sunder the armor, and then the Berserkers will just tear through, whatever they have. So, definitely a good army pick. The Ice Wolves can help pin down these Marauder Horsemen and potentially, chase off routing units. If this Sorcerer decides he wants to dive in, he's going to have to be very careful as well of these Norscan Ice Wolves, not to get pinned down and then, attacked by all these anti-large armor-piercing units. So definitely going to be a very intense fight. And yeah, we'll go ahead and kick things off here. You can see already the Ice Wolves getting onto this unit of Marauder Horsemen, and with their high weapon strength, they'll tear up light cavalry in a big, big hurry. But, it's just a unit of, about 500, which is not super cheap, but it's not overly expensive, so not the biggest loss in the world. But, just continue to harass on this flank and bringing up the army for a mainline engagement. Chaos versus Norska, so it's going to be fairly straightforward here as we just bring these 2 armies together. And yeah, the Marauders versus Marauders with great weapons, I'm curious to know how that would go, just with the Enrage. That might make the difference in that fight. But over here, Chaos Warriors with great weapons will be able to chop through these Marauders in a big hurry. However, you can see he's responding to my heavy flanking presence over here, bringing around these Marauder Champions as well as the Famir Warriors with great weapons. Very good choice. You can see Kholek is pushing aggressively through on this flank, getting somewhat surrounded by the Skin Wolves, which is going to be kind of a bad day for him. But we do have the Demon Spew here for support as well as these Forsaken. Going to be dropping a Flaming Sword of Ruin here, so these Forsaken will carve through. Let's go ahead and put it in slow motion here just so we can fully appreciate. With the Flaming Sword of Ruin here, these guys are up to 74 weapon strength, and, that is multiplied by about 33% against the Skin Wolves, if you take into account the weakness to fire, as well as the Kindle Flame here. So that's going to be doing a lot of damage there, and Kholek as well, of course, up to 546 weapon strength with that Flaming Sword of Ruin and the Flaming attacks as well. So he'll be able to one-shot these Skin Wolf models easily, and of course the more unit models that die, the less they can regenerate. this unit of Swords of Chaos getting a bit out of position here. Definitely need to pull these guys and these Forsaken back over here, but we will be doing so shortly. In this mainline fight, you can see it's actually going, you know, somewhat evenly with these Marauders with great weapons and the Chaos Marauders. Very even fight there, but you can see the Brutes of the Hound getting chopped up by Chaos Warriors with great weapons, trading fairly well, but over here, this heavy presence of Marauder champions is gonna be able to hold out for some time. You know, the Forsaken don't really have the armor piercing to get through, and you know, there is a lot of unit models in here, but because of the kind of awkward pathing of the engagement here, it's not going to be great. You can see we are breaking through here, but we'll go ahead and kick things back into full speed. Yeah, we're just going to be hanging out with the Chaos Sorcerer. No real reason to bring him onto the ground, but you can see as the frenzy starts to drop off of these skin wolves, they'll actually terror out from Kholek, so that's very good. The Swords of Chaos, of course, have flaming attacks baseline, so they don't need the Flaming Sword of Ruin to, you know, have that benefit. So with the Kindle Flame and their weakness to fire, they'll be putting down these skin wolves in short order. Kholek's going to be getting targeted on this Skinwolf Werekin here, so we'll go ahead and take in some of this cinematic action here. Very, very beautiful stuff. The Chaos versus Norska matchup is always a fast, hard-hitting, you know, usually very, very bloody fight in general. So over here you can see, since we've mopped up this infantry fight, we're going to be bringing these guys around, and the Chaos Warriors with great weapons are needed to take down the heavy armor of these Marauder champions, as well as the Famir Warriors with great weapons, so definitely glad I brought them. Unfortunately, they did kind of get hung up on the Skin Wolf, but you can see another Flaming Sword of Ruin going down, and that's going to allow Kholek and, you know, all these other forces in here to get a lot of work done. Kholek's got his sights set on Throgg here, going to be bashing around the Werekin. Looks like there's some Famir mixed in here as well. But yeah, the Swords of Chaos giving Kholek that physical resistance plus his heavy armor. He's not going to take a whole lot of damage here. And, you know, Throgg's actually standing, and he's trading pretty well, not taking too much damage so far. But the Werekin, on the other hand, is in pretty bad shape. He's about half HP and was getting terror routed off, now going to get surrounded by Forsaken. And now Throgg is really feeling the pain from Kholek. Because of the mass advantage that Kholek has, he can really bully Throgg and kind of push him around. And ultimately in these kind of, you know, monster-on-monster engagements, it really depends on who has the greater mass, at least with how things are right now. In Warhammer 2, they're going to have, you know, monster-on-monster animations, but, you know, we'll see if that gets ported back to this game. I doubt it, but you can see over here on this fight, those Marauder champions just not having the leadership to be able to hold out there. And yeah, it is going to be a game there. So very well played to Gojira. Definitely enjoyed playing that one. I've got another battle between myself and him that I'll be showing later this week. But definitely thought you guys would enjoy that. And, you know, as part of my ongoing conversation about the lore of fire, I figured you guys would be interested to see that. Definitely that Flaming Sword of Ruin, you know, helping those Forsaken deal with the Skin Wolves. And, you know, they ended up not being super cost effective in the end. Only 3 kills there and 13 kills there. And, you know, just not able to get the work done that they needed to on Kholek. You can see he's still relatively healthy, and that Skinwolf Werekin took a beating as well. And in the mainline fight, you know, it was a fairly even trade kind of both ways. We were able to prevail in the end just because these Marauders, or excuse me, the Chaos Warriors with great weapons and the, you know, some of these other units were able to get kind of a favorable wrap-up engagement. But, you know, these Marauders here in the front crumbled fairly quickly, although they did do some damage in return. This unit of Marauders got hammered pretty hard, and the, you know, the Marauder Horsemen weren't super useful in this matchup, but I bring them just in case, you know, it's good for harass against the low armor units. In case they bring javelins, then you can circle around, you know, in the rear lines, have the speed to, and the mobility to, you know, outrun and get in the rear line and get on those javelins and at least tie them down. You know, they'll probably lose in melee, but even if they can just tie down the javelins for a short time, it's definitely a good thing. But Gojira didn't bring any, so they ended up kind of being useless. But oh well, you know, not a huge deal. Nice insurance, but yeah, Swords of Chaos are monster in this matchup. You know, Chaos, I would almost say, is top tier. I think there's definitely an argument to be made that they don't have any matchups right now that are truly unfavorable, I would say. Let me know what you guys think about that statement, but I can't think of any right now. Vampires previously was a pretty tough matchup, but right now I think that Chaos actually has the right tools to deal with the Vampires. And with the slight cost increase to Crypt Horrors, Vampires, it was a small nerf, but it was a significant nerf, you know, because Crypt Horrors are a very good unit overall. So it's interesting. That's the only matchup I would say historically has been really rough on Chaos. Well, historically speaking, you know, like in the first few patches, Chaos was just garbage. But, you know, in the Bretonnia patch, I would say Chaos has been a lot better, and in the Norska patch, and even more so in the Norska hotfix there, I would say definitely top tier. You know, with the tools they have, they really can handle pretty much anything that you throw at them. So you do have to plan appropriately and bring the right build, but you know, with their variety of lords, you know, their great magic and excellent infantry, they can definitely get some work done. So let me know what you guys think. Well played to Gojira. Again, if I can remember, I'll include a link in the description below to his channel, so you guys go check it out. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.